Let's talk about questions related to valuation, right? Now, whenever we're talking about valuation, generally students will prepare more from a theoretical angle, which is fine. You know the formula, you know how to calculate certain values, but do you really understand the logic of valuation, right? So let's discuss that. When you're making a financial model, you're basically forecasting explicitly for a certain period of time. So maybe you're forecasting for 3 years, 4 years, max to max 5 years, right? And now obviously you would be adding certain growth rates in the forecast. So you generally will either be forecasting the FCFF or the FCFE, but do you understand the logic of taking the growth percentage? So that is where the question again arises when the interviewer will ask you the why have you taken 10% growth between 1 and 2, or why have you taken on an average 20%? Is there a logic towards, right? Now that is one part of the valuation. So when we are valuing the company, we are taking the explicit forecast and we are bringing it back to zero, and that gives us value number one, right? So that is one part of the value of the company. Second part of it is perpetuity, because you cannot keep on forecasting for eternity, right? Because neither would you have that kind of a vision to understand where the company is going at a longer term, infinity. So you are actually, we basically use a growth formula, which is taking the cash flow, putting a perpetual growth and doing R minus G, which is nothing but a modification of a perpetuity formula, which if you remove this cash 1 plus G, right, and if you remove the G, that is nothing but the perpetuity formula. So in the longer run, when we are forecasting for a company, the perpetual value of a company's conviction is basis on the quality of the company. So if let's say we are forecasting for Titan, then we have a big conviction that yes, the company is going to exist in the longer run, right? And that is where the conviction for 5 or 6 perpetual growth, which is good. I mean, 5 to 6% infinite growth is, in terms of value of the company, is pretty high. Now that, when you bring it back out here, gives you value number 2. And 1 plus 2 will give you the total equity value. Now what you need to understand is whether the value of the company is majorly coming from your explicit forecast or whether it is coming from perpetual value. Ideally, there should be a balance between these two. So this is the kind of logic that you need to understand when you are preparing for DCF valuation for your interviews. I hope this video helps.